Hey, Viking fans, this is Keith Millard, and you are listening to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. Go Vikes!
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. I am One Bar with Lupicus, and in this episode, we're talking about some cornerback options the Vikings could possibly look at bringing in free agency.
Yeah, we're basically taking every position and looking at some options. And the common thread here is that they are cheap options because the Vikings aren't going to have a ton of cap space. So, cornerback, looking at the overall ranking of their needs, isn't very high. They got the two young guys coming back. The problem is the third, fourth guy. Who's that going to be? Is Mike Hughes going to be there? Can they rely on a guy like Harrison Hand? I don't know. So I do think a veteran option would make a ton of sense for the Vikings. And here are some of those guys that could possibly fit into their budgets.
Yeah, and that's the key. They need some veteran dudes back there. We're losing Anthony Harris. We're bringing back guys like Chris Boyd, Chris Jones, Dylan Mabin. So while it might not be a huge need, it is. I have this need probably higher than I should because I want some old vet back there whooping these guys into shape.
Well, that's what the safeties had to do last year. Kind of fell back onto them. It would be nice to have an actual corner. Especially one who's familiar with Mike Zimmer's system to get these guys lined up right, and even just kind of tell them what to be looking for, what to anticipate, what the offense might be doing in certain situations. So enough of this pussyfoot, and let's hop right into it, huh?
Let's start with one of the best damn cornerbacks to ever play the game of football, and then it's Ross Cockrell, cornerback, 45 career starts, 29 years old, 7 interceptions. And he knows he is very good at changing teams because it appears he changes teams every year. So this will be a very smooth transition for him to come to the Vikings.
You forgot to mention Super Bowl champion Ross Cockrell on the Bucs last year. Yeah, this is a guy you seem to want every year in free agency because he's available every year in free agency. 6'0", 190 pounds. He got decent size.
Good speed. He's fast. He's lightning.
You look at him when he was, he didn't play much for the Bucs last year, but the year before that with Carolina, he had 62 tackles, 50 tackles, 62 the year before that. Mike Zimmer loves corners who can tackle. Ross Cockrell can definitely do that. I do believe he's versatile, can play a little safety in a pinch if he had to. So he brings that to the table. You said he's not going to cost very much. Loaded with experience, and he's pretty much seen it all, playing for all these different teams. In and out, he's been in the AFC, been in the NFC, so he's gonna be familiar with just an offense can't throw something out there that Ross Cockrell hasn't seen.
Wow, you just talked to Ross Cockrell quite a bit more than expected. And there's the key to this signing is 45 career starts. He could start in a pinch. He's probably your third, fourth cornerback, maybe your fifth cornerback, whatever he is. He brings that veteran presence at a cheap price. That's why I want him.
All right, that's enough with Ross Cockrell. Let's move on to a guy the Vikings actually sniffed around. Last year, there was rumors last summer that I think one of his pages said that they said of the Minnesota Vikings, Dre Kirkpatrick. Again, this is a guy who's very familiar with Mike Zimmer. He was there when he was Mike Zimmer was D coordinator when he was drafted. 6'2", 190 pounds. Cute little mustache on him. Dre Kirkpatrick. So the Vikings kicked around on him last year, and he ended up going to Arizona, started 11 games, had 3 interceptions, 56 tackles. So even at the age of, 32?
31.
Kirkpatrick, 31. He can still play football, and I got to think the Vikings are maybe regretting not signing this guy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he signed for like $1 million, so he's, again, very cheap option. They got, did you say 11 starts out of him last year?
Yep.
As long as Dre Kirkpatrick is in the league and as long as he's available and wants to play, he's always going to be like, Zimmer can bring him in. He knows him. He was there when they drafted him. We'll see. I mean, yeah, that would be fantastic. I'd love the thought of Dre Kirkpatrick being on our depth chart. No doubt about it.
It's really the perfect fit. I mean, knowing this game, he can almost be like a coach on the field as long as he's played in the league. I mean, he's been there over 10 years now, or just about 10 years, 8 years. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I think he would bring not only the ability that he can still play, but just to get these guys lined up and help these young guys out. So I think his presence on the Vikings cornerback depth chart would be huge.
The only reason I don't think this won't happen is I think it already would have. For $1 million last year, why wouldn't you have? I mean, if they wanted that pairing and wanted to be with each other, I think they would have already done it.
Be together?
They wanted to be together. They could have done it and would have been very cheap. And we probably needed a corner more last year than we did this year. So that's why I'm not too excited about it.
I think they had hope Mike Hughes would actually be healthy.
Then they are fools.
Well, maybe they realized they had to get Yannick Ngakoue too. I realized Hunter was hurt worse, and they thought maybe they should put their money in different spots. So I don't know what the story was. But that's something we'll have to get Rick Spielman when he's on the show next week.
All right. Well, let's speaking of unhealthy, let's talk about Sidney Jones. Now, this isn't the veteran presence. This is more of the, I don't know, just throw something up the air, see if it sticks. Sidney Jones, still only 24 years old. The dude cannot stay healthy, but even in his limited amount of time, when he's out there, he still looks good. And he played for the Jags last year. And yes, his season was short because of injury, but when he was out there, he looked pretty damn good. Eagles cut him last year. He is a ball hawk. He just will not stay healthy. This is a guy that is going to continue to probably sign one-year contracts until he either peters out or actually does something. Because the talent's there.
Is your Peter out right now?
Yes, it is. I appreciate you asking.
Wow. Yeah, this is one where you're hoping you just you go cheap and this guy ends up being healthy for 16 games because maybe you put him in the slot, and yeah, he's got 4 interceptions the last 2 years playing in limited time. So you said it, he definitely has some ball skills. Again, the tackles too. He's up there. He's not afraid to come up and make a hit. So if this guy could just stay healthy, I think he was a first round pick, wasn't he? Or he fell in the early second round pick, 43rd overall. Yeah, this is just it's a pure upside. You're hoping he puts it together, he stays healthy. But then again, if you're the Vikings, you already got an injury-prone guy in Mike Hughes. Do you really want to add another one into the mix is the question. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking to get bang out of your buck, Sidney Jones is the route to go.
They cancel each other out. They sign them, and they're both have a beautiful non-injured year.
That would be something else.
Sidney Jones, come on home, baby.
All right, I got one here that's going to be on a little higher end of the spectrum, but the Bengals came last year, pillaged all of our corners, and now we're going to go there and we're going to pillage one of theirs. William Jackson III. This has been getting some run on the internet, being a perfect fit for the Vikings. 6'0", 196 pounds. He's at press corner, which Mike Zimmer loves. Can be up in the face of the receiver right off the route. Again, another good tackler, 150 career tackles. Not exactly the world's greatest ball hawk, only 3 career interceptions, but he has broken up 41 passes. So I think William Jackson's going to cost you a little more money. But the Vikings were able to free up money from Michael Pierce last year. So maybe they do something like that, getting a veteran corner in here like William Jackson, who I'm guessing would start and maybe put Jeff Gladney into the slot.
Yeah, old Bill Jackson. Old Bill. I remember when he came out of the draft, was it 2016, 17? He was pretty rumored around the Vikings when he came out. So there was probably interest there. If they bring in a guy like William Jackson, then they just must not have the warm and fuzzies to go back to with those rookie cornerbacks week 1 next year, because William Jackson's going to come in and start.
Mm-hmm.
So while I would be a little bit excited about it, I might be a little bit sad about it as well. I would rather go to the cheaper, like a Dre Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, and William Jackson, there is some talk that this Disney deal that was supposed to happen with the NFL might give the team some more cap space, so the Vikings are able to get some more, maybe make some cuts, find a way to afford a guy like William Jackson. There would have to be some work on the back end there, but I think one of these needs are going to be filled with a veteran that we might be surprised the Vikings spend on, and I think cornerback is as fair a spot as any of them, so it could happen.
I believe it. This guy, next guy is definitely affordable, and he is Ken Crawley, 28 years old, former state, undrafted free agent, very inconsistent. Anything you read about this guy, and when you watch him, he will have a great play, and then he'll have 10 horrible plays. But he's going to be cheap. It might not be the best signing in the world, but if it comes down to a Chris Jones being out there or a Ken Crawley, I am taking Ken Crawley 10 times out of 10.
I would put you out there before I see Chris Jones out there again. But that was kind of the angle I was going to go with. You look at the Vikings signing these street guys last year, Cordrea Tinkersley, Chris Jones, was it, I don't say Aaron Maben, but Dylan Maben. I mean, just these guys that are sitting there, you're desperate. Why not just kind of pre-plan for that and have a guy like Ken Crawley on your roster? 6'1", so he's got good size. And he's a good tackler. That's always been something ever since the day he stepped on the field in the NFL. This guy will come up and make some tackles. So you got to like that about him. Coverage-wise, yeah, I mean, 2 career interceptions. He did break up 17 passes in 17. So what the hell was going on? What was up his ass that year?
In 17, he actually started 13 games for the Saints. So he kind of splashed on the scene in only his second year after being undrafted. So again, he's another guy who's got some games started under his belt, and would love him at the bottom of the depth chart.
Yeah, I don't know how much he's going to help as far as getting guys lined up and helping these young guys out. I mean, would you really, you're a young guy, would you respect Ken Crawley if he came into your organization and was trying to tell you?
Respect him. I would invite him to my home, have him dinner. I would let him do anything he wants. Anything he wants.
You?
It comes back to Ken Crawley has been through the ringer. He's been on very good teams, of those Saints teams. So I'm not looking him to come and help Vikings get over the hump. I'm looking to have him come in so Chris Jones isn't playing.
There is something said about being in a winning organization, and then maybe he can pass some of that winning mentality on. I guess you could hope for that. But I do like Ken Crawley as like a fourth corner, and a guy who can come up and make some sticks.
I want him as our fifth corner.
I was trying to be generous. All right, that's it. Those are our 5 free agent cornerbacks. Let us know if you guys got any other gems up your sleeve in the comments. Maybe someone we forgot or purposely didn't want to talk about. Obviously we got Xavier Rhodes. He's could be an option as well. Played pretty damn well for the Colts last year, and you see how bad our secondary was. I think a lot of Vikings fans wouldn't be super sad about having him back.
No, and I'm gonna actually go online right now and pre-order my Ross Cockrell beautiful purple Vikings jersey. I'm very excited about it.
I'm surprised you didn't order one last year when you're all hard up for him.
Well, next year when we do this same video, we're talking about the free agents. I'm gonna be talking about Ross Cockrell again. I'm gonna talk about him until the day he retires.
Yeah, maybe I'll be just as nice to him next year as it was this year.
Yeah,
who knows?
He appreciates that. I'm sure he's watching.
Sure he does. All right, here's something you guys all appreciate knowing. Warm colors such as yellow, orange, and red make you hungry, which is why many fast food restaurants' logos are yellow, orange, and red. Think about it.